This is Smashketball MAX. It's the best thing ever. This is Smashketball like you've never seen before. This is Smashketball to the max. Playing on Smashketball MAX is a visceral experience, combining the chaos of beating your opponent absolutely senseless inside of a death box, the satisfaction of perfectly spacing an attack to launch your opponent straight into the basket, and ticking people off with some of the most egregious cheese I have ever seen. It's amazing. It's perfection. And after 2 years of floating around on my Switch, I am officially announcing its public release, and giving you an in-depth tour of how the heck we got here and why this stage is perfect. Stage ID in the description. Although I must add, it is very important that you use the stage ID in the description because there are multiple beta versions floating around that I use to refine stuff, fix bugs, that sort of thing. Just use the stage ID in the description. I don't recommend using the search tab. Alright, first things first, let's dive straight into the history of Smashketball MAX. The year was 2019, and my friend Great Blue and I were bored doing our usual tryharding one day, so we decided to look around the shared content section of Smash Online, where we found this Smashketball stage. It had a few interesting things going for it, but it had a few problems as well. Most notably, the stage was extremely small. For some reason, the baskets had grabbable edges, and if you launched your opponent into the basket, death was not guaranteed. So we set out to fix those issues while creating our own abomination, and we came up with this, the original Smashketball MAX. Now, if this looks a little bit different from what you saw in the introduction, you'd be correct. This is in fact a completely different save, it's a completely different stage from what I am releasing to the public, and that's because the original Smashketball MAX had a lot of issues, and over the past, close to 2 years, we've been continuously improving the design of Smashketball MAX, just making it more functional, while still retaining the same internal geometry, or at least as closely as possible. So, yes, while this does look a little bit different, I can assure you that the latest version is only 1 unit wider internally, and the baskets extend 1 unit further downwards. Otherwise, they're the exact same stage. Just the newer version has fewer bugs. Alright, now that we've gotten through the history of Smashketball MAX, it's time to explain how everything works. First off, for rule sets, we typically run the tryhard competitive rule set, so 3 stocks, 7-minute time limit, although 8 minutes will work perfectly fine. If it goes to sudden death, play it out. And one very specific, very important rule is that we do not allow stalling on the stage, although you can see that it is possible to outpace the win boxes up here. This is not acceptable behavior. Alright, so why is this stage amazing? It's because every single design feature on this stage just flows. Everything flows perfectly into each other. Everything makes sense. And although the experience is an absolute mess, it's beautiful. First, let's start with the obvious. Unlike every other Smashketball stage ever, which has an open bottom blast zone that allows the cannons to, actually work, Smashketball MAX is a fully enclosed box. The entire stage is surrounded by 1 giant metal platform, and there's an additional extremely thin platform here that passes through the cannon that's actually a solid platform. With the exception of the 2 baskets, this stage is completely inescapable. And despite the stage being particularly wide, it has a distinct closed-in, tight, chaotic feel. The next obvious difference that I want to talk about are the baskets. Unlike normal Smashketball stages where you have downward firing or outward firing cannons, This stage uses warp zones, which allows us to have an actual basket-like structure around the basket. And it means that it's rather difficult to kill someone super early, which means that it actually requires some skill to store a basket, unless if you're cheesing. Another feature of the baskets is that in the top corners, you'll see these little bits of lava right here. These are the dunt bars. These are the quintessential signature skill shot of Smashketball MAX, because if your opponent gets launched up towards the corners at, say, 40%, they get spiked immediately to their deaths. It's really satisfying, and honestly, it's a very entertaining, interesting mechanic, although, of course I'm biased. I designed this stage. Jeez, back on topic. The next feature I want to talk about, which contributes to the stage's closed-in feel, are the platforms. That's another thing that most Smashketball stages just don't have. They don't have platforms up here. I don't really get it. It adds another layer of depth to this stage, and like I said, it contributes to the stage's closed-in feel. So, these platforms here, you can get combo follow-ups onto the platforms for the kill. There's just setups galore. And additionally, these are not the fixed kind, air quotes, of follow-through platforms. These platforms have horizontal walls on them, so weird stuff can happen, and when you launch your opponent up against the platform, they hit the side, and occasionally they'll reflect straight into the basket. It's something. Additionally, there's a universal bug when it comes to flat surfaces in Stage Builder. They have invisible 45-degree angle surfaces on the corners, which, when I shield over here, you can see this extra particle effect here that indicates that my shield is kind of colliding with the diagonal angle there. Lastly are the bumpers. These were here to kind of prevent corner camping, but depending on what move you end up using, it kind of avoids the bumpers entirely. However, it honestly adds a new additional layer to advantage state, to where that if a character is good at keeping its opponents pinned up against the wall, it's a rather solid character. And those are basically all the features of Smashketball MAX. Individually, they don't look like much, but combined together, and the fact that an enormous amount of thought and just time went into every single facet of this stage, things get really hectic. There is a ton of depth here, so much so that this stage, honest to goodness, warrants a tier list. There's just some stupid stuff that you can do on this stage. And I hope all you guys enjoy it. Again, stage ID in the description. Please feel free to post any feedback in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm planning on doing a tier list video in the future on this stage. Thanks for watching.